Good morning, guys. Happy Boxing Day. And now, thank you for joining me in Poetry Corner. Next year, I'm going to call this Story Corner, Storyteller's Corner. So, anyway, guys, we're going to go back to our new story, The Season of Polite Longing. And this is chapter 5, A Walk Too Far. So, let's read on, guys. The sky threatened rain the following afternoon, the clouds drawn low and restless, as though undecided about the intentions. Eleanor stood at the foot of the stairs, gloves in hand, considering the window. A sensible walk would remain with sight of a house. A proper one would avoid the woods entirely. She chose neither. The path beyond the lower fields curved into a stand of bare-limbed trees, their branches knitting overhead like whispered confidence. Eleanor had not intended to go so far, but intention she was learning at a way of altering itself once acted upon. She heard footsteps behind her and did not turn. "I thought," Mr. Fairchild said evenly, "that you might be headed this way." "You assumed," Eleanor replied, though she did not slow her pace. "Yes." She stopped then, facing him. Is assumption another of your observations?" "Only when invitation is silent," he answered. The honesty of it unsettled her. They walked together beneath the trees, the air damp, rich with earth. The world felt farther from the house here, less governed, less arranged. "You will be missed at tea," he said lightly. "Then let them miss me," Eleanor replied. He stood at her as they walked. "You are changing." "So I'm told," she said. "I do not think it's the countryside," he said. "I think it's the permission you are granting yourself." Eleanor stopped walking. "This is not a safe thing to say," she said quietly. "No," he agreed, "but it is true. It's a true one." The woods opened suddenly into a small clearing. As its centre stood a stone bench, worn smooth by years of use or waiting. Eleanor sat unthinking. Mr. Fairchild remained standing. "This is farther than I intended," she says. "Distance often reveals itself only after one has travelled it," he replied. The rain began, not in earnest, but enough to scatter drops across her coat and darken the earth. "We should return," she said, though she made no move to rise. "Yes," he said, and still did not move. Silence pressed into thick and aware. "Tell me something improper," Eleanor said suddenly. His breath caught just perceptibly. "I cannot," he replied. "And tell me something honest." He looked at her, then truly looked at her, as though measuring the risk of not to himself but to her. "I notice," he said slowly, "that you are spent your life being careful for others, and that you are only just beginning to wonder what it would mean to be careful for yourself." Eleanor felt the words settle deep, uncomfortably precise. "That," she said softly, "is quite far enough." "Yes," he agreed, "it is." Thunder murmured in the distance, not a threat, merely a reminder. They returned to the house in silence. Rain falling a little harder now, streaking the windows as they entered through the separate doors. That evening Eleanor sat alone in her room, her boots drying by the fire, her thoughts anything but settled. She had walked too far, not in distance, but in understanding. And now that she had reached it, she suspected that there was no simple way back. There you go. I think Eleanor's finding her independence from her Aunt Agatha. So we'll see. Is it going to be a romance? We don't know yet. Mr. Fairchild and Eleanor Whitcomb. We'll see. So join me tomorrow, guys. For chapter 6, where we're going to read Invitations Unspoken. So I'll see what it's all about tomorrow. Chapter 6, Invitations Unspoken, in a quiet season of longing, polite longing. So let's read that. I think it's turning into a love story, I don't know, but we'll see. Anyway guys, join me tonight for Topsy Tickletown. I was just pointing that way. If I point that way you might get confused. So Topsy Tickletown. This is chapter 8, The Peculiar Emergency of the Backwood Belle. So let's see what's going off there in Topsy Tickletown tonight. So join me on this Boxing Day evening for Topsy Tickletown. Until then, have a very lovely day. Maybe a lot of you are going out to parties or sporting events. Whatever you're doing, have a very lovely day, and hope you had a very Merry Christmas and survived it. And happy Boxing Day. Join me tonight for another story in Topsy Tickletown. Until then, we can have another nice cup of coffee, guys. But not before we say it's Topsy Tickletown before coffee, and it's Eleanor Whitcomb's new romance before coffee, and we say coffee makes the world go round. So there you go, guys. Lovely. So there you go, guys. Thank you for joining me in Storyteller's Corner. That's what I'm going to rename it, Storyteller's Corner, instead of Poetry Corner. Until then, have a very lovely day. I'll let you go now because I'm starting to ramble. Have a lovely day, stay blessed, stay safe, and join me tonight for Topsy Tickletown. Bye bye now.